Okay, why won't she work? Really? Oh, shoot! Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Grace and I am a sophomore in college and I run cross country and track. So if you follow me on Instagram at Running on Smiles, you may recall that back in probably November, after the cross country season, I posted something on my story asking you all to ask me questions. And I kind of just forgot about it. Like, I screenshotted all the questions and I even wrote down responses, and I just never made the video. Fast forward to March, now in spring break, and I figured I should probably make that video. I now have the time. So I have all my responses printed out because I'm very forgetful, and I just wanted to make sure I answered all of your questions. Let's get started. So the first question was, how did the cross country season go? So obviously now it's March, but so sorry I'm answering this now, but cross country went great. It was a good season. Our team actually won our MAC championships. You can watch it in a vlog I made. I actually vlogged quite a few of our meets this cross country season. Not all of them, but if you go back through my channel, I do have a bunch of vlogs from this past fall. Now we're going on to outdoor track, so I guess I could also answer, how did indoor track go? And indoor track went definitely much better than last year. For me personally, I was able to get a new PR on the 5K, and that just meant a lot. And I know this sport is so much more than about times, but that was definitely a big mental block for me. I hadn't been able to break 18 minutes again in the 5K for the past 2 years. So it's definitely very frustrating, having been able to do that in high school and then come now you're a college athlete, and I was not able to even break 18:30 last year, which is still a great time, but it was definitely hard to not compare to my past self. But I was actually able to break my high school PR in the 5K. So I'm like, okay, now high school is in the past. I can move on and just continue on just bettering myself from there. And going off of that, I think it's so important to realize that your sport is so much bigger than just yourself. It's really about the whole team. And when you have a bad day, there's gonna be someone that's gonna have a good day. And really, that's just the thing I love about cross country and track, is there really is a whole team aspect of it. I feel like it really helps make the sport more enjoyable and meaningful when you stop putting so much pressure on yourself to succeed and really just look for finding the silver lining in every single meet, every single race, and really just celebrating. If it's not your success, learning to celebrate and really be happy for others and their successes. So the next question was, is college training a lot different from high school training? So I honestly think it depends on the school and the college program. Personally, for me, it wasn't too different because my high school program, we were pretty high mileage. I think I was running probably in the 40s each week, mid to high 40s, honestly. During track, more high 30s, but we were a pretty higher mileage team. And now in college, I run about I run 40s to low 50s. Never really get into the 60s range. I think I had one 60-mile week, and that was during preseason for cross country. But even the schedule is pretty similar. We have 2 hard workouts each week, 1 long run, 1 off day, and then 3 easy runs. So in that aspect is pretty similar, but I think for me the biggest thing was just adjusting to college in general. It really ever the training for me. It was more just like living on my own, like not having my parents, not having like the security of like home and comfort. And I think for me, it was more mentally hard to adjust than physically. The fact that I was not mentally adjusted impacted my performance physically, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but it definitely depends on the program. I love how my coach approaches mileage and training because it's really individualized. Like, we get a training plan each week about our workouts and our mileage, and not everyone is following the same thing. Different training groups, like an A, B, and C group, and some of our best runners are in the C group, some of our best runners are in the B group and A group. It honestly is just what works best for your body, and high mileage works for some people while low mileage works for other people. I am someone who's kind of like in the middle. It really depends on the person, depends on the program, depends on the coach. So if you are interested in running in college, I 100% recommend it, but I also recommend obviously talking to the coach and learning about their program and what it has to offer. Do you miss racing the 3200? Yes, I do. That was such a good event. That was probably my favorite event in high school because it was the longest event offered. There would be the occasional 5K, but I think I ran like 2 5Ks on a track throughout high school. They were just very rare. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite event, 3200. Best track and field event. So I'm definitely a distance girl, so probably will have to go with the 5K. Typically, the longer the better for me, but I am going to potentially try the 10K this season if all goes to plan. So who knows, maybe that'll be my new favorite event, but that's at 6.2 miles going around in circles. So I feel like I'm either gonna love it or hate it. So we will see. Next question was advice for vegan runners. So I'm personally not vegan. I just want to put that out there. I'm a vegetarian by choice, and that's honestly just because I feel bad for the animals, but I am not against anyone who eats meat whatsoever. Food is fuel, and no one should ever feel bad about the choices they make nutrition-wise. If you want to eat meat, if it makes you feel good, if it makes your body feel good, go for it. Fuel your body with the foods that make you feel good, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That's personally my choice to be a vegetarian, but I understand that doesn't work for everyone, and it's definitely not easy to be a vegetarian and a runner. I will tell you that. Going off of the I'm not vegan, a lot of people confuse me with vegan because I also don't eat dairy, but that's really not by choice. I mean, it is a choice that I've made in the past 2 or 3 years, but I'm very lactose intolerant. Me and dairy just do not agree, if you know what I mean. So, and it just got progressively worse as the years went on, and my doctor advised, let's maybe just like remove dairy out of your diet and see how you feel, and I've honestly felt so much better. But before I address your question about advice for vegan runners, I want to emphasize that I am not a nutritionist or a doctor by any means. I will say though that I think it's very important that you make sure that you're eating enough and that's for any diet that you have. I don't even want to say diet, but if you have any like food items that your body either cannot have, like whether it's an allergy or it's just by choice. And if I'm being completely honest, I even struggle at times when it comes to making sure I'm eating enough or making sure I'm getting enough variety and enough nutrients. Because anytime you eliminate an entire food group like meat or dairy, like you really have to be conscious of making sure you're getting enough nutrients elsewhere. So I work with a nutritionist, and I think that if you're going to be vegan and you're going to be an athlete, especially if you're going to be running miles and miles every single week, you want to make sure that you're talking to somebody that has a degree and an education on how to adequately fuel your body, because otherwise you're just not going to perform to the best of your ability and you're not going to have enough energy. So I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, but I will say make sure you're eating enough and make sure you're eating a lot. Tips for finding a balance between healthy eating and letting yourself eat whatever you want. So this is a tough one. I wish I could tell you all that I've mastered this balance, but I really want to be honest and authentic with you all on this channel. I do want to make a video eventually about my past with like my relationship with food, but that will be for another day. Much of high school I did struggle with an eating disorder. I am honestly so proud of how much I've grown and how much I've bettered my relationship with food. I am substantially better than where I was sophomore year of high school, but I do think that there's always going to be that little voice in your head just because of our society and social media and just this idea of like perfect, like clean eating. Like there's always is that little voice in my head like, oh, maybe you should have something healthier than that, Grace. I now allow myself to eat the ice cream. I love my sweets. I love dessert. The bottom line is people are gonna find something wrong with every single food. At the end of the day, food is fuel, calories are energy, and whether you're an athlete or not an athlete, your body needs food to survive and function. Food honestly makes me happy. I don't know about you, but I look forward to like my breakfast, like my lunch, my dinner. Like honestly, sometimes like food is the best part of my day. Why restrict yourself? Why worry about eating perfectly clean all the time when there's so many amazingly good food in this world that you should allow yourself to experience and enjoy. I think it's important to treat yourself every single day. So obviously, health looks different for every single individual, but for me, I think I'm definitely still learning to find that balance, but I think that balance is very important for not only your physical health, but your mental and emotional health and well-being. Okay, now into the non-running questions. Current hot take. So I struggle with this question. Like I don't really know what like a current hot take of mine is. I was like maybe I guess one could be like, I like the treadmill. I guess a lot of runners don't like the treadmill, but I like it. Like you can just lock in a pace and like you can't cheat. Have to literally hit a button to go slower. So I don't know, I think it like keeps a good tempo. I think it's good for tempos, but that wasn't my hot take that I had written down. But I also said ketchup is by far the worst condiment. I just don't like ketchup. And funny story, I used to love ketchup. I used to put it on everything when I was younger. And then I got sick once. And then I don't even know if I had ketchup while I was sick. And then it like made me like not like it anymore. I feel like I didn't. Because I feel like when you're sick, you just have like Propels and soup and I don't know. But I had ketchup again after being sick and I just never liked it again. That was like in second grade. I avoid ketchup. But on to the next question. Pineapple on pizza. No. I'm sorry, but no. I love pineapple, I love pizza, but that does not mean that they are meant to be together. Favorite spot on campus? Shake Smart. That is an easy one. So this is new on campus this semester, but it is a smoothie and acai bowl place. It's in the rec center, and I'm obsessed with it because if you know me, you will know I'm obsessed with smoothies and acai bowls, and that is the way to my heart. Next one, favorite non-running thing to do? Yoga. I really love doing yoga. I just find that it's a nice way to just relax, reset. Good for the body, good for the mind, like so many benefits to yoga. My dream would be to move down south, live on the beach, have an acai bowl shop, and teach yoga. Like that just literally sounds amazing. Like all my favorite things, acai bowls, yoga. I could do runs on the beach, on the boardwalk, warm weather. Oh, I want summer so badly. Someone asked what is my major in future career plans. So looking ahead here, but my major is psychology, and I am definitely interested in getting into sports psychology. So along with the whole yoga acai bowl beach fantasy, I would love to be a cross country and track coach in the future. I'd love to use everything that I've learned about psychology and like my personal experiences with mental health and just help other athletes reach their potential and conquer any like mental barriers that are holding them back in doing so. And last one was current goal I'm working towards right now. I feel like my current goal is just learning to find balance in life. And I feel like that can look like a lot of different things, but I feel like the bottom line is just not putting so much pressure on myself to be perfect, because honestly, I don't even know what perfect means, and I feel like no one in our society really knows what that means. Perfection is just this word that honestly can just leave the dictionary because it's just unattainable, and it's something that I feel like everyone, including myself, is trying to strive for, but no one knows what it is. Obviously, I think it's so important to set big goals that motivate us and push us, but I also think it's important to be okay when we don't always achieve those goals, because we're human. We're gonna make mistakes. We're not going to always reach the mark, but I feel that, and I don't like saying failures, but honestly, like, I'll say our setbacks or maybe our shortcomings, they are honestly a learning lesson that will help us be successful in the future. For me personally, I get really hard on myself if I don't get the perfect grade, if I don't run like the time I want in a workout or a race, or if I don't know, if I just don't do something to the best of what I think was my ability. But at the end of the day, if I know I tried and I did my best, I should be content and happy with whatever the result is. Yes, it may not be exactly what I wanted, but we're not gonna get everything we want in life. And I know that may sound negative, but it really isn't. Like, we were put on this earth to make a difference, all in our own unique way. And I'm speaking for myself, but I feel that others may be able to relate. We see someone else do something, we're like, wow, that's so amazing. Why am I not doing that? Or why am I not capable of doing that? And that doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing that, or I'm not capable of doing that. It just may mean that we're not there right now, and that's okay. So I just think it's so easy, especially in this digital age, to compare ourselves to others. And I'm definitely at fault for that. I definitely find myself comparing myself to others, but I feel that I have become a lot more mindful of it, and I'm able to take a step back and be like, okay, focus on your life, what you're doing right now, and just be grateful for everything that you have done, have been able to experience, have succeeded in, and try not to focus on all the things that you haven't, because just because you haven't doesn't mean you never will. Kind of just going, I feel like I've gone on like a rant and I've kind of like swayed away from the current goal, but just finding balance, I feel like it just wraps up all in one, just not getting so hung up on this student athlete identity. I feel like that's definitely hard when like my life is college and running and classes. I think it's also so important to make time for family and friends, doing things outside of your sport and studying. So for me, that's journaling, yoga, going outdoors, hiking, and vlogging. This is something that I like to do that's just, I mean, it is tied to like running because it's kind of like a lot of the content that I make. At the end of the day, I love running and I want to be a part of my life. And if I ever felt that it was making me unhappy, like, yes, like it does make me anxious and nervous because I put so much pressure on myself, but I feel like I'm slowly learning to take the pressure off of it. And I genuinely feel like I'm starting to learn to have more fun with the sport. It's just running, and there are a lot of other important things in life. Got a little deep with that last question, but I hope you all enjoyed this little Q&A. And if you all want me to do another in the future, I can maybe do one in the summer. So let me know, and I could put another Q&A poll on my Instagram story and see what new questions come my way. That's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button. Peace out. Bye.